Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed those tunes, two of my absolute favourites, and I'm going to teach you them now. Just before I get into the detail, I'm going to do the obligatory plug. So I'm posting these tutorials on YouTube each Friday at the moment. All the tunes are tabbed out in my new book, O'Neill's Tunes for Clawhammer Banjo, which you can buy from Amazon. The link is below. And I also run a Patreon page where I post exclusive videos and tabs and various lessons on different techniques and different tunes, so you can subscribe to that as well. And that's probably about it for the plugging. So without further ado, I shall get on and teach the tunes. So first of all, we've got the first tune in the book, which is called Crabs in the Skillet, which is what's known as a single jig. So basically normal jigs, double jigs, are where you've got lots of quavers in the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, daddle da daddle da daddle da daddle da. Here the B part of the tune is very much like that, whereas the A part and the C part feel more like single jigs, which is where you've got more of a crotchet kind of feel. So you've got dum da da dum da 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 da. So you've got like sort of longer notes in there rather than just relentless quavers. Then we'll go on to Miss Crawford, which is a frenetic reel, but we'll start with Crabs in the Skillet. So to begin with, we've got an upbeat at the very beginning, so that's quite common in folk tunes. So basically that's like a note just at the start before the first bar kicks in properly. So that note is a D. We're in sawmill tuning. If those of you who watch these videos already, I never remember to tell you the tuning until about 3 bars in. So this is a good one for me. This is sawmill tuning, so that's D, G, C, D, G. So it's normal G tuning, but tune your B up to a C. And yeah, basically the first note is your 4th string. And remember, we're talking jigs here. So a key rule with jigs is, whereas when we're in 4/4 time, we tend to operate on the lines of MT, 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 MT. So that means on the beat, you play with your M stands for middle finger or index finger if you use that. And then off the beat, which is the and, you use either your thumb, which is the T, or a left hand slur like a pull off or a hammer. Jigs are different, so we've got groups of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And regardless of where exactly the notes fall, even if you've got gaps, I tend to always stick with that rule. So for example, each group of 3 is MTM. So 1, 2, 3. And I tend to stick with that rule even if, like in the A part, we've actually got quite a lot of space in the tune. I still try and keep that right hand pattern going, or left hand if you're left-handed. Just because I think it gives you a good sense of where you are in the bar and what the timing's like and that kind of thing. So that's the way I sort of choose to do it. So the very first note of the whole tune, as I say, is this upbeat. So that's called an anacrusis. So it's like a sort of mini bar before the main thing kicks in. So this is your 4th string. So that's quaver 6 of a kind of non-existent bar, and then bar 1 starts properly with your G, which is your 3rd string. And that note is a dotted crotchet, which means it lasts for the whole of the first group of 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Yeah. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And then the next note is your 1st string, which is a D, which is on quaver 4. That's a crotchet, so that lasts for 4 and 5. And then 6 is an F sharp, which is your 4th fret of the 4th string, which you can use your little finger for if you can. Although I'm not going to pretend that I always do that. To be honest, with fingering on this one, I do kind of flit around a little bit. I've written it as though it's in 1st position, so that would be 1st finger on 1st fret, 2nd finger on 2nd fret, 3rd finger on 3rd fret, 4th finger on 4th fret. But to be honest, I sometimes move around a little bit depending on what feels comfortable. But that's a good rule if you want to sort of have a bit of a system. So the first bar then, after the upbeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then bar 2 starts with that 3rd string as well. Then quaver, that's a crotchet, so that takes care of 1 and 2. Quaver 3 is an A, which is your 2nd fret. And then we go straight into quaver 4, which is B flat, which is your 3rd fret. That takes care of 4 and 5 because that's a crotchet. And then you've got your 2nd string at the end of that bar. So you've got crotchet, quaver, crotchet, quaver. So far this is what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Like that. And then the then we get more of a double jig feel for the next couple of bars, so we get 6 quavers in all the bars. So first we get our first string, which is a D. We're going to hammer on our first fret, because this is actually the first note that you'll play not with your finger. It's because it's on 2, so it's the middle note of a group of 3, and it's the middle note of a group of 3 where you don't use your playing finger, usually. You use either your thumb or a left-hand slur. So that's... And then the next note is the first string again. You can do it like that if you prefer, but as you can hear it sounds a little bit weaker, so I tend to go like that. So here we've got, and then we've got C, B flat, A, so sort of down the scale. So we're going to play the second string on quaver 4, drop thumb the 3rd fret of the 3rd string on quaver 5, and then play fret 2 on quaver 6. So like that. And then here we've got a little, one of those little twiddles, which if you've been watching any of these tutorials, you'll be very well acquainted with. So ornaments, they're also known as embellishments sometimes. Basically, they are little ornaments that Irish players use a great deal. And what they are grace notes. So briefly, grace notes are extra notes that we add to the main notes to make them sound a little bit fancier, but they don't. The grace note doesn't have a value of its own in terms of time, so you don't count it in the time, you just execute it very quickly as you play the note. So in banjo terms, it's a bit like doing a slide or a pull-off or a hammer, but super quickly, and you always execute it as you play the string. So in this case, we've got a double grace note, because what the melody note is a first string, but instead of just playing the first string, we're going to very quickly hammer on the 3rd fret and then pull off again as we play the note. So it's like that. It isn't. It's much like one note as you can make it sound. That's quaver 1. Then quaver 2 is a 2nd string, which you're going to drop thumb, and then the quaver 3 is the 3rd fret of your 3rd string, which is a B flat. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So as you can hear, the grace note is just something you can hear as the listener, but in terms of how you're thinking of the melody, it doesn't count. It's just like a little embellishment. And then to finish that bar, we're going to go A, which is your 2nd fret of the 3rd string, pull off to a G, and then play an F natural, which is your 3rd fret of the 4th string. That's F natural, not F sharp, which would be the 4th fret. Normally, I'm a complete sort of anally retentive disciplinarian about fingering and which finger to use. But as I say, on this one, for some reason, I do end up floating about a bit. So don't worry too much if you do, just obviously keep in mind where you are on the fretboard. So far, this is what we've got. So that takes you up to bar 5. Then we basically start the same again. Up until that point. So bar 6 is the same as bar 2, but the last note, instead of a 2nd string, you're going to play the 1st string. So you've got... And then bar 7, we're going to get back into the sort of double jig feel. So we're going to play a C, which is 2nd string, drop thumb an A, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then play a C again, and then we've got 3, 2, 0 on the 1st string. So that's F, E, D. But again, we're going to do a bit of a grace note. So what I do here is like that. So when you play that first F, I sort of slide into the note from the 2nd fret. So again, just slide as you hit the string. Like that. And then finally, the first ending of the A part, we're going to play an F arpeggio, so that's C, A, F. An arpeggio is like a broken chord, so we're playing the notes of the chord. So you're going to play, if you get those 2 fingers on, that's 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 3rd fret of the 4th string, and you're going to play strings 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 2, 3 on the 4th string, and that takes you back to the beginning of the A part. Then we play through the A part again, and then when you get to that last bar, this time you're going to do the 2nd ending, which is basically the same in terms of the first three, so it's that F arpeggio again, but then you're just going to play a G, that's quaver 4, and then quaver 6, so that's a crotchet. Quaver 6 is your first string, which takes you in to the, sort of leads you into the B part. So that's the A part, so let me show you the B. So the B part is much more like a conventional double jig, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 through most of the bars. So we start off in 5th position, and what I do here is put my first finger on fret 5 of the 5th string, so that's a G, and then I'm going to fret the 5th string, which is the 7th fret, so you're going to use your 3rd finger for that, reach across and get that. Be wary, just make sure your fingers are kind of sufficiently arched so that you're not flattening other strings. And you're going to play the 1st string, 5th string, 1st string, and then quickly, it's a bit awkward this, you're quickly going to change to 4th position. So if you now put your 2nd finger on fret 5 of the 1st string, no you don't, put your 3rd finger on fret 5 of the 1st string, even though you're in 4th position, so normally you would put your 2nd finger down. The reason you put your 3rd finger down is because you've got another note on the 5th fret, which is on the 2nd string coming afterwards. So we get like that. And the reason for doing it that way is you then need to play an E, which is your 4th fret of the 2nd string. So it's a little bit awkward. This is a very quick change. So you really have to sort of get ready and try and do that move as swiftly as you can. Then from there, if you take off your middle and ring finger and you've got your 1st finger on fret 4, the next note is a fret 5. What I'm going to do is hammer it on as I play the string, so it's one of these little grace notes. Like that. 5th string, open, then that note again, and then that note again, pull off back to the 4th fret, and then play the 1st string open. So that bar goes like this. Like that. Oh sorry, I've gone past there, haven't I? The first 2 bars of the part go, and then you can stay there for this bit. What we're going to do is play the 2nd string, then we're going to play an off string pull off, which means we use a left hand finger to play the string, because we're on beat quaver 2, so we're in the middle of a group of 3, so we're not going to just downstroke it, because basically otherwise you end up with sort of, which all sounds a bit clunky. So we're going to play 2nd string, pull off the 1st string, then play the 4th fret, then we're going to play 5th fret again, pull off back to the 4th fret, so leave your first finger on, and then play the 1st string again. So far we've got, and then we're going to go into an F shape, which is these 2 fingers, so that's 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 3rd fret of the 4th string, and it's that F arpeggio that we did earlier basically. So same as before, and then play the F again, that's quaver 4. So, and then quaver 6 is your open 1st string. And what I would do is, as you play that note, you can take your F chord off, because you then need to get ready to move back to where we started, which was this. And then we basically play all that again. And then we just switch to that ending this time instead. So essentially you're playing the same as the 2nd time ending of the A, because we're then going to play the 1st string on quaver 6 to take us back to the start of the B, and then we're going to do all of that again, and then the 2nd ending of the B is this. So it's that F arpeggio again, then 3, 2, 3 on the 4th string, and that takes us into the C part. So the C part is a lot more kind of minimal in terms of the notes, because you've got 4 dotted crotchets to kick off the part. So basically what that means is you get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's really important to keep your timing right here, because the temptation, I think, when you've been playing lots of notes and you've then got notes with a lot of space afterwards, is to kind of rush them. So you end up sort of going, what do? You end up going, it's very easy to rush those. Remember, they are dotted crotchets, so you need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what are the notes? Very simple, just G, A, B flat, C, so straight up the scale. Then you're going to play from the A section, you're going to, if you remember this bit, but the only difference is instead of an F natural on the end of that group, you're going to play an F sharp. So and then we'll start again. And then back. So basically, once you do those 4 dotted crotchets again, you then come to this, which is from the A part as well. If you remember that. And then it's the F arpeggio, and then the 3, 2, 3. That's the first ending. Then we go back to the beginning of the C part, do it all again, and then finally the very last bar this time will just be. And then if you're finished, then that's it. If you're going back round the tune again, you'll put your 4th string, which is the D, on quaver 6 to take you back to the beginning. And then you would start again. So obviously what I did in my set is I played Crabs in the Skillet twice through, and then when I got to the very end, I essentially then started Miss Crawford. So I sort of went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then got into Miss Crawford. So Miss Crawford, here we go. Okay, so like Crabs in the Skillet, Miss Crawford starts with a sort of an upbeat. So I basically finish Crabs in the Skillet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and then we start on Miss Crawford. So the upbeat for Miss Crawford is note-wise, as in melody note-wise, it's the 1st string and then the 2nd string. So drop thumbed. Again, I do a little ornament. So instead of just that, I do. So similar principle to that one in Crabs in the Skillet. It's just this time it's the 1st fret, not the 3rd fret. So it's a very quick hammer on and pull off. Then we're into the 1st bar proper. Now Miss Crawford is a reel, so we're in 4/4 time again. So 8 quavers in the bar, and usual rule of finger, thumb, finger, thumb, finger, thumb, in terms of whether it's on the beat or off the beat. So to begin with, we have a 3rd fret, and this time I do stick very much to the position markings I've written in the book. So we're in 2nd position, so your 2nd finger is going to play that 3rd fret, 3rd string, which is a B flat. So your 1st note is the B flat, then you pull off to the G, then you play an F sharp, which is the 4th fret of the 4th string, but you're going to do an off string pull off to play the G string, so G string. So that's your 2nd finger, and you literally just pick the string. You're not looking to play that B flat note, you're literally just picking it with your left hand. So what I do when I play that F sharp is I also fret the 3rd fret again, ready to pull off. Because with off string pull offs, if your finger's there ready, it's quite easy just to flick the note off. Whereas if your finger isn't there, you kind of have to hammer it on and then pull off. You end up with that sort of sound, which isn't as clear as that. So that's the 1st group of 4 quavers. So 1 and 2 and then we're going to play the 4th string open, pull off the 3rd string again, then play F sharp and pull off the 3rd string. So that's the 1st bar. Then we're going to go into the F shape that we used in Crabs in the Skillet. So that's just that one there. And you're going to play the 3rd string, drop thumb the 4th string. Then we have one of these triplets. You'll know by now if you've watched these tutorials, this is supposed to be a same note triplet. A triplet is 3 notes squeezed into the space of 2 quavers. So whereas normally you've got 1 and 2 and, here you're going to go 1 and 2 and like that. So the best way to do that is to use your playing finger and down pick the note, come back up through the note and then down again. That's the best way to get a same note triplet. It is, however, quite hard. So if you're doing a reel at full speed, I find it really tricky to do that technique. If you can master it, then I'm jealous. So what I do as a cheat instead is I play the note, sneakily sort of whack the 4th string with my little finger 2 frets up and then pull it off again. And you can faintly hear, if I do it that slowly, the note that you can hear that it's not the same note, but at speed you can't really tell, and that's my defense anyway. So anyway, play that however you want, and then once you've played that triplet, you're going to play this note again, the one on the 3rd string, but I'm going to sort of hammer on the note as I play it, like that, and then drop thumb the F again. Then keep those 2 fingers on, play the 2nd string, and then the 4th string again. So far we've got like that. Then bar 3 is the same as bar 1. And then you're going to put on a kind of a different F chord. So this time your 1st finger is going to be where it was before, but instead of fretting the 4th string on the 3rd fret, you're going to fret the 1st string on the 3rd fret. And you're going to leave both those fingers on, and you're going to play string 1, drop thumb, no you're not, you're going to play string 2, drop thumb string 3, 1st string, drop thumb string 3, then take all of that off and play the 3rd string open, off string pull off the 2nd string, and then we're going to play the upbeat that we played at the very beginning to take us back to the 1st phrase again. So the first line is, no it isn't, first line is this. And then you're back to the 1st phrase again. It's just the ending that's different, which is you're going to play another of those triplets, which is your 3rd string, and then the 3rd string again on beat 4. So you get 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4, and that's the whole of the A part. Now for the B part. Now the B part is a bit of a beast. First of all, we've got an easy first note. We're going to play the 3rd string and then the 5th string, so 2 Gs. Then we're going to play another G. This time we're going to move up to 5th position. So during those 2, well, you've got quite a lot of open strings there, combined with the end of the A part. Move your hand up to fret 5. And what we're going to do here, so 1 and then beat 3 is this G on the 1st string, fret 5. And what I do is I hammer it on as I play the string. So like this. Like that, really sort of crisp hammer on. Drop thumb and F sharp, fret 6 of the 2nd string. Probably sounds a bit discordant when you do it slowly like that, but it is the right note, I promise. And then return to that G. Play the 5th string with your 7th fret on. And then do a little half bar on fret 5 and play strings 1 and 2. And that's the first bar. Then if you adjust your hand slightly here to, probably easier if you go to 2nd position, and if you can use your little finger on fret 5, it helps, but it's quite awkward as well to do quickly, so feel free to use your 3rd finger and do it in 3rd position. You will have to move again, but if that's more comfortable, that's fine, because it's quite difficult to get from your 1st finger there to your little finger there. So I've written it as 2nd position, but you can play it by, you just sort of have a bit of an experiment with it and see what you think. So the next bar, we're going to play 1st string, 5th fret of the 2nd string, which is an F, and then you're going to play C, which is your open 2nd string, then hammer on the 5th fret again, so like that, and then you're going to pull off from your 5th fret to your 3rd fret on the 2nd string as a grace note, so you're going to do that like as you hit the string, so you should get like that, then pull off to the 2nd string, and this is where you'll need to be in 2nd position for this next triplet, because it's C, B flat, A, and it's a triplet, so again 3 notes in the space of 2. So C is your 2nd string, B flat is 3rd fret of the 3rd string, so you're going to drop thumb that, and then play the A with your finger. So it's quite tricky to do. If you're playing this fast, it's really hard to get that triplet in like that, but it can be done. So the first two bars go like this. Like that. Then we have the first bar again. And then essentially we've got the same as the last bar of the A part next, which was this. But I'm actually going to play it up here just to save ourselves having to travel back down the fretboard to go back up again. We may as well play it here. So this time we're going to play the second string, drop thumb the A here, which is your 7th fret of the 4th string, F, which is your 5th fret of the 2nd string, back to the A again, and then your triplet. Hope that makes sense. So that's the first line of the B. Now the last line, oh my god, is quite a challenge. Triplet-tastic. It is, and this is what is written in the O'Neill's book, so don't blame me. I'm just the messenger, because this is what's written in the O'Neill's collection. So first of all, you've got a pair of triplets, which again is quite difficult to do at speed, but it can be done. Really important that you get your fingering right for this. So stay in 5th position, put your first finger on that G, which is the 5th fret of the 1st string, and you're going to do a double hammer-on for this one, simply because I just find it too hard to get at speed. If you can do it, then do it, but I honestly can't. So you start with that 5th fret, hammer on the 7th fret, and then hammer on the 8th fret. If you can play that 8th fret with your finger and still do the next triplet, fair play to you. But that's the first triplet anyway. The second triplet, you're going to play an F, which is your 5th fret of the 2nd string, play the 5th string with your thumb, and then play that A again, which is the 7th fret of the 1st string. So you get double triplet, and then back to the G, A on the 5th string, F on the 2nd string, that's your 5th fret, and then 5th string open. So that whole bar is... then you're going to play the same as bar 2 of the B part, so that was like that. Now comes the fun bit. You've got a whopping 7 triplets in a row. It's great fun. So again, if you get your fingering right, it can be done. So this time we're going to go 3, 2, 0. Oh, you've got more than 7 in a row, I've just realised, because we've already had 1, so that's 8 in a row. Blimey. So anyway, here we go. The penultimate bar starts like this. 3, 2, 0 on the 3rd string. Again, I'm doing a double pull off, breaking my normal rule. I'd normally try and do a triplet where I play the first and the last note of the triplet with my finger, but it's just too fast, basically. So I'm going 3, 2, 0 on the 3rd string. Then we're playing the same triplet that we did before, so that one. Then we're going to do one of these follow-throughs, or rolls as they're sometimes known. So you're going to fret a B flat there on the 3rd string and simply follow through with your finger to play the 2nd and 1st strings open. So, and then you're going to play an E natural, so that's the 2nd fret of the 1st string, sorry, with your 1st finger. Play that, hammer on fret 4 of the 1st string, and then play the 5th string with your thumb. So that bar is, and then just nudge your hand down a little bit for the last bar, 1 position, and you're going to go 3, 1, 0 on the 1st string. Again, double pull off just for speed reasons. Then the same triplet that we had before, so that's C, B flat, A, and then a same note triplet for the G, and then the G again. So the last line. And that's the whole lot. Now you may have noticed incidentally, a point about triplets, which I should mention as well, is the way that we folkies tend to do those triplets. We write them as normal triplets, but they're not really. Because the way that we play them is we tend to play a couple of the first two are quite fast and the second one is shorter. That's the way we tend to play them. So if it was strictly tripletized, that's a word. It is now. That bar would be 1 and a, whereas it's not quite as smooth as that. So we do them slightly differently if that ever should come up with any classical musicians or anything. But it's kind of the folky way of doing them. So I hope that makes sense. It's a great tune. Obviously that triplet run is really tricky, so do take your time over it. But it's a great tune. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching and happy picking. Again, just to remind you, the Patreon page is there if you want exclusive tabs and lessons on various tunes and techniques. So you can subscribe to me there. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, that really helps. And I'll be posting these tutorials for a while longer as well, various tunes from my book, which you can buy on Amazon. That link is below as well. But anyway, enough plugging, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.